It's just after midnight in Tokyo, and Fumiya is going home. He works security, 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. Home is a booth, 1.5 meters wide, in an internet cafe. He pays for it by the night. He's lived here almost a year. Fumiya is one of thousands. And here is the strange part. His country's official homeless count, the one in the government statistics, is 2,591 people for all of Japan. So tonight's investigation is 2 questions. How does a man who works 6 days a week end up living in a computer cubicle? And why does his country's own count say that he doesn't exist? A Japanese internet cafe was built for an hour of manga and a computer. Then it noticed its customers weren't leaving. Today, the big chains sell what they politely call a night pack. A private booth, flat rate until morning, around 2,000 yen. There are showers, coin, laundry, a drinks bar. Some chains offer monthly billing. Do the arithmetic Fumiya does, 2,000 yen a night is roughly 60,000 a month. No deposit, no contract, no questions, next to the station he guards. It is the cheapest bed in the city that asks nothing of him. The booth is not a strange choice. On his numbers, it's the rational one. And the operators know it because they built the showers. It doesn't buy a bed. He sleeps at a recline the partition allows. It doesn't buy silence. The booth has walls, not a ceiling. It doesn't buy a future because it doesn't buy the one thing an apartment gives you free, an address. No fixed address complicates everything in Japan. Job applications, bank accounts, the paperwork of being a person. And the booth doesn't care who you were. Tadayuki Sakai spent 20 years at a credit card company. Then came the fall. And the fall in this system has no floor between salaryman and booth. His story is from an earlier wave of this reporting, which is its own point. This has been normal for a long time. Here is what standing in front of a Tokyo rental actually costs. The deposit, shikikin, a month or 2. Then reikin, key money, a gift to the landlord for letting you rent his flat. A month, sometimes 2, and you never see it again. Agency fee, another month. Guarantor company. Because without a Japanese guarantor, you pay a business to vouch for you. More still. First month upfront. Stack it and the wall stands at roughly 1 million yen. 4-5 months of Fumiya's salary before a key touches his hand. Now run the board. The landlord, in a system built on risk aversion, an applicant with no address and no guarantor is a rational no. The guarantor company profits from the fear, prices the poorest out anyway. The cafe chain watches a customer arrive nightly with cash and builds him a shower. The market quietly constructing a housing stock out of booths. And Fumiya, a 2,000 yen night with no wall to climb beats a 1 million yen wall he cannot. Every player is behaving rationally. That's what makes it design and not an accident. Here is how Japan counts its homeless. Surveyors go out and record the people they can observe in public space, on roads, in parks, in the stations, on riverbanks. It is a real count done carefully, and in 2025 it found 2,591 people. But look at what the method is made of. A booth is not a road. An internet cafe is private property. A man asleep behind a frosted door, paying nightly, with everything he owns in a coin locker, is not, by this definition, homeless. He is a customer. Tokyo's own government once ran a different survey of the cafes themselves, and estimated around 4,000 people a night were sheltering in them in that city alone. That estimate is from 2018. It's old, and we should say so. But the national method hasn't changed. Whatever the intent, a count that only looks outdoors will always find fewer people than the night contains. In the spring of 2020, the pandemic closed the internet cafes, and something remarkable happened. People appeared. In Tokyo, the emergency made visible in weeks what the annual count had never captured. The city scrambled hotel rooms and emergency shelter for cafe dwellers who suddenly had nowhere to be at night. Support groups had said for years the booths were full. Now the booths were shut, and the streets briefly told the truth. Be fair to the official count, it measures exactly what it says it measures, and it does that consistently. The criticism writes itself anyway. A number that's small doesn't just describe the problem, it sizes the response. Policy scale to 2,500 people will never fit a population that only becomes visible when a virus closes the doors. The count didn't find them. A pandemic did. So go back to Fumiya's booth and look at it differently now. At the start of this film, it looked like a strange place for a working man to live. But the booth is not the anomaly. The booth is the answer to a title and to a question. Who lives in Japan's internet cafes? Workers the housing market walled out at 1,000,000 yen, sleeping inside the one industry that adapted to catch them. At 2,000 yen a night behind a definition that files them under customers. Japan does not have almost no homelessness. It has a narrow count and a private sector quietly warehousing the difference. The booth is the shape homelessness takes when a country only counts what it can see outdoors. Watch the number when the next survey lands. And remember the spring the cafe closed, and the count for a few weeks was wrong out loud. The same overflow exists in other cities. It just takes different shapes. In Taipei, it went upward, onto the roofs into metal homes that officially don't exist. That story is on screen now.